Hey everybody, it's your girl Love Lisa, and you are in the encounter room. And I got my boy, my friend right here, Mr. Ty Grady, Mr. Entrepreneur, Mr. Businessman, Mr. Going to get it straight today. How you doing, Ty?
I'm doing well. How about you, Lisa? Is everything okay over
Everything is
there?
great. Welcome to the ER.
Thanks for having me.
No, it's a pleasure. I get the great opportunity to travel around the world, and I get to meet wonderful people like yourself, right? Wonderful, intelligent, just doing big things and ready to share those big things with the world. So I'm really appreciative of you being here, and I'm looking forward to all the knowledge you're going to drop on a sister and her
Let's go
audience.
for it. I'm
So
ready.
first of all, Ty, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Okay. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm very passionate about financial education, entrepreneurship, personal development, leadership, and giving back to our communities to help strengthen our communities. And that goes with saying that economic stability and development is something that I feel passionate about also. I just wrote a book called Wealth Principles, 6 Fundamental Strategies to Create Wealth. My wife, she helped me co-author the book. Right now, I'm a busy person, okay? I definitely believe in different streams of income. I teach as a professor on 2 college campuses. I teach business courses at Westchester University, right outside of Philadelphia in the suburbs there. And I teach a personal finance course at Wayne State University. Okay. So that keeps me busy outside of, running my 2 businesses, loving on my wife, most
Come
importantly,
on now, say
God.
that again.
Giving
Say
it up
that
to
for the people in the back.
God. Okay.
But
Mhm.
no, I think that's wonderful, everything that you're doing. And, our topic today is made for success. And I know that, you've just mentioned so many things that you have your hands in. And, speak to, for those, and me who are trying to balance life. Now, you have 2 businesses. You are teaching at 2 colleges, as well as all the other things that you're doing, right? Um,
Yes.
how do you manage all of that? And you don't live in Philadelphia. You actually live in Detroit, right?
Yes, that's correct. I live in Detroit, Michigan. I've been here for almost 3 years in December. But
Okay.
I fly back and forth, to Philadelphia, and I have, strong ties in South Florida too. So I stay busy. To answer your question, I stay busy. I get my rest. I make sure I get down at an appropriate time. Keep a strong faith, in the Lord Jesus Christ. Stay connected to the church. Stay connected with church leaders here. I found a great church, to lean on, to keep my mind strong. I eat to the best of my ability, exercise 3 or 4 times, a week. I try to meditate, do yoga, stretch, not that I'm trying to lift the world on my shoulders or lift 100,000 pounds, but I do try to exercise, and just to stay loose in life, right?
Okay. Okay.
Keep my energy up.
So,
Hmm.
so with everything, you have a wife, you mentioned, and all of those things, and somebody may be listening and they want to put their hands in the pot, but they're saying that they can't do it. What would you say to them?
As far as if they can't do as far as with their,
Just because they're scheduled, I
yes,
mean, they're
yes.
scheduled.
Yes. I've learned to find partners, accountability partners, because, being an entrepreneur, I'm a very, I like to take control and be at the head of my businesses. So, because I want to know everything that's going on, good or bad. But you got to get out of your way sometimes, you have to find people that you can rely upon because I can't do everything by myself. So I find others to support my business and nurture my business to make sure that, I'm not burning myself out at the same time and making sure you value your time which is important. Time is more valuable than money to most people. When I worked in banking, I worked at a branch in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, which is a affluent area, and they put me in an area that was concentrated with our elders, 70, 80 years old, looking at retirement, and they had me try to sell people annuity products. And most people would tell me, Ty Grady, if you could just sell me some time, right?
Come on.
That means more important than me. So, I try to value my time, and then I value the time that I spend with others, as because, we're connected, as people. Perfect.
Absolutely. So what kind of industry experiences that a job that you performed that led to the success that you've had?
Okay. Well, I started off, let's go back some time if we have time, Lisa.
Yeah, go ahead,
I,
take your time.
I started off coaching high school athletics, years ago back in the 90s, because I always saw myself as a leader amongst, younger people, amongst young men. Uh, then I decided, my wife, she took a position in New Jersey. Then I relocated up there, began working in the mortgage industry, in the foreclosure, the back end of it. And I said, well, this feels a little bit uneasy. How about I jump in on the origination side of the mortgage industry and start originating loans? Spent, around 5 to 6 years in the mortgage industry. While I was doing that, I was gaining experience and knowledge. I started seeing problems with dealing with first-time home buyers. People were signing up for mortgages for $400,000, $500,000 and couldn't pay a $50 medical bill in collections. So I always made mental notes and had conversations, with myself and then with people connected to the finance industry. Then I went into banking, started getting some banking experience because of the mortgage crisis. Went into banking. Banking took a downturn. All the while, I started a business, a real estate investment business, because I was good at saving my money and I didn't participate in a lot of consumerism and didn't spend up my money on wasteful stuff. Okay. And I used that time to invest in myself. And I'm saying that to people, right? I'm in the giving mode, giving backstage, but I just want people to understand the importance of valuing your time, valuing your money, saving, having a budget and investing that money into yourself, into your children's lives or people that you love.
So you must have come from a pretty good background, because looking at you, here you are, a professor at 2 colleges, owning property from, all over the country. And, so you really must have had it easy, huh?
Well, Lisa, unfortunately, no.
A black man, was it, usually some of the statistics are against you.
Yeah.
So talk about that. Talk about some of the things that, made you have the mindset to be able to want to save your money, to not just spend it on those things that might be frivolous or may not be, may be unimportant, that may get in the way of our success.
Yes. I was born in Louisville, Kentucky. Okay. If, people, don't familiarize themselves with, Kentucky is not, people either drive through it or look over it, but it's one of the 5th poorest states, in our United States of America. So I was, I saw poverty, from the time I was born. I come from poverty. I come from a very dysfunctional background. Okay. I was an at-risk youth coming up. So, I didn't come from a family that had, money, had the assets. I didn't come from a family that had a business. So a lot of the stuff I learned on my own. And I'm a true believer. And I know that I'm God's son because God kept me protected from the times, where, I didn't have, the parents around, that dad around to help steer me through life. I didn't have uncle steering me through life. I was in the streets, on the west side of Louisville, Kentucky, like most of our young black men in America, trying to figure life out. Okay. With all these police brutalities and disparaging ways, looking down up on you. So it wasn't very easy, right? To separate myself, from the the gang life, from the peddling of drugs in our communities. So I didn't see entrepreneurs, right? I didn't have doctors and lawyers, in my family, business owners to help give me that business DNA to help push me along, right? I had to, it wasn't until my 30s, after I got married, I sought out mentors because I was groomed, in my society, Lisa, coming, being raised, being self-made, not to listen to people, right? Because I didn't have anyone guide me through life, or I don't think it was ever in me either, right? I was a take hold type of guy. I was always that hustler, trying to make, something out of, making something out of nothing. Okay. So, I just want to show people and speak to people that, hey, throughout any dysfunctionality you're having, trials and tribulations, make, your test in life, your testimony, make the mess that you see a message. So that's why I'm giving back. And it's good that I get a chance to share this platform with you to hopefully to help inspire people, okay, who are going through difficulty or challenging times, that can see themselves, and find that bridge to get on from point A to point B, so they can master their brilliance and transform their lives, right? Right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So how
Okay.
did you get the concept for your business? So when we say business for you, are we talking more about your real estate businesses? Would that be your main, business? Because you mentioned two businesses that you have.
Okay. Yeah, we can. I have my first business. I've been owning and I've been investing in real estate for about, over 15 years. So Freedom Financial Group is my boutique real estate investment firm. Okay. I've been doing that successfully, made the mistakes, right? Learn from my mistakes. So I'm always willing to mentor people who want to invest in real estate and get to that next level. And also I own Freedom Financial Institute, co-founded that with my wife to help educate people on the importance of financial independence. And that's different for everyone, Lisa. That could mean paying off your car, paying off your house, right? Paying your bills down, and not have any bills coming in, right? That's a sense of freedom.
Right.
Okay. It could be investing, earning money while you're in your glory years, as we are in our lives, making as much money as possible, getting into your your adult years where you have to shift and you're at a mid-career, and I like to talk to people about saving money while you're earning the most, and investing into yourself, then the problem you see every day in your organizations that you the business, but take a market share of that business that you worked in all these years, right? And creating a business, right? By identifying the problem. And that's what Freedom Financial Institute, was created, because I saw in the finance, I've worked with people that made $1 million a year or $15,000 a year, right? The common theme across America is we're not budgeting our money right. We're spending too much money on stuff. 70% of our economy is consumerism. We're taking out too much debt. 7 million Americans 90 days or late on cars that we drive, that we look at every day. And the sad thing is, Lisa, and I can go on and you can stop me, but we have people right now in Pittsburgh and San Diego and some of our greatest cities in America driving Mercedes Benzes and Ford Chargers and Ford Focuses and Yukons. Okay, gas is low, but they're in food lines, and most of these people can't even afford the vehicles that they drive in, because we're spending too much time and not paying enough attention to how we're spending our money.
Yeah,
okay?
I can tell you're passionate about that. You're very passionate about making sure that, because you want people, obviously, just because of your background, and how, when growing up, was food a problem, money a problem? I know you talked about, me and you've had some personal conversations about your background. So, but is that one of the things that, fuels you to really want to teach people, to mentor people, not to be able to live paycheck to paycheck?
Yes. Yes. Let's take a step back, right? Do we have some time?
Go ahead.
Okay. So, I was just speaking to my wife about this the other day. I was thinking about one of my aunts. Okay. My grandmother, who passed away at an early age, one of her sisters. Okay. All right. I'm a generation off farm country, right? Right. From the deep south of Kentucky. And I can remember my Aunt Ella, okay, dealing with scarcity, living in a shack with an outhouse, right, living off the earth, right, you know, and her brothers and sisters dealing with that whole coming off that sharecropping concept. So I saw the struggle. I noticed with my eyes open and being more woke and conscientious about wanting to make right decisions, the struggles that my ancestors went through, and it's always it's resonated in my soul. Okay, my parents didn't. My grandmother, she broke her back as an indentured service working for doctors for years, and then had to go home, being the matriarch of my family on my father's side, taking care of 7, 8, 9 kids, cooking for them, right? And not having an education and struggling. And she said to me, "You don't have to live like this. This is a choice." And she would ask me to come watch her clean mansions in Louisville, Kentucky. And I would do that in Louisville, Kentucky. And it stayed with me, right? And then being around poverty in Kentucky, I noticed poor white people, black people, Mexican people, all colors. And I said, poverty is just not hitting the black community. Okay, it took me a step further when I moved to Philadelphia, South Jersey, and I saw people of different backgrounds dealing with the same issues of all different socioeconomic and classes. So America has to change, and we have to help people educate themselves about their money, which is, we live in a capitalist society, and most problems that we deal with, where you have children that have friends, can stem from money. Okay, let's talk about the college kids, where most parents can't send their children to school. I'm a professor. I hear the issues. Can't sign up for a full-time workload. Why? Money. Can't get your car to drive from Philadelphia to Westchester. We got to take a bus. Why? It's money. Divorce rates are skyrocketing. Money, right? Not to say this money is a tool. It's not everything.
Right.
But it can elevate you in life, and it could get you to certain places and areas, because I've been in neighborhoods, my family in particular, and I've saw how with having lack of resources or not understanding money and talking about it at the dinner table, it can erode generations. And we let so much wealth slip through our fingers. In the deep South, when we came off of slavery, we owned so much land, and we ran to up north for better jobs, for a salary, and let all that land slip through our fingers, okay? And that's a whole nother story, because in my family in Columbia, Kentucky, my grandmother's brothers and sisters, right, due to the lack of communication and not knowing the value of land, let acres go, right?
Yeah, I think that's probably been a lot of our, history. And, and I love the fact that you're turning it around, because now you're saying, what was stole, you still no more. And that's the Bible verse. That's, that's God's, something that he has implemented. Devil, you stole, but you stole no more. And I love the fact that you are standing on the wall, making sure that our brothers and sisters, and I'm sure you mentor everyone. Brothers and sisters to us is anyone who is of the faith, anyone who wants to learn knowledge and wants to get to know God better through,
Amen.
So it's, you have this quote, and just, for those who are listening, it's your girl, Love Lisa, and you're in the encounter room with my boy, GRADY, right from Detroit. But he's a, he's a world traveler. So,
absolutely. You are too. You are too. You're doing some, it's good, it's no joke. It's good to be, in your company, right? To be able to have conversations and call upon you, because, you're a lady of strong faith. You taking your message into the world. And as you know, you still have to come right back down your neighborhood and do things, right there in the community. And I love how you always, do grassroots things, right, to uplift people, because, that's what we need to be doing.
But then, okay, so you have this quote on your website: success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue the journey that counts, right? So with that being said, I want you to tell me what that means, but I want to tell you, for you, what you just said, I'm a grassroots type of girl, right? I love that. But then some people will say, well, I can't do those things because it doesn't pay the bills. You're giving, what I really enjoy about our conversations, and I'm following you, what you do is that you're giving us an opportunity to do what we love, but also do what can fuel what we love, right?
Right.
It can, you know, so because it costs money to do the
Mhm.
things that I
Mhm.
do, you do,
Mhm.
and you know, even grassroots, it costs money to do that in
Mhm.
time. So
Mhm.
what does that quote mean to you? Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue the journey that counts.
Well, with success, success can be is different for everyone, right? You can design the life of success the way you want it to with a proper plan and taking action, right? So, in my journey to success, I've had accomplishments, and you can speak to this, Lisa. As soon as you set that goal, you take the plan, you set the plan, you take action, you accomplish it, and God's saying, "Are you really ready for it? Because here goes something else for you to work on."
I, yeah.
you, you know, you really want greatness? Well, here comes something else to work on. So that whole success is not, final. Is that it's always a working process. You can always do things to help improve and better yourself so you can perform better in life, right? Uh, uh, Failure is not fatal, right? I've had things that happen to me, and I'm sure thousands of people out there can speak to it too, right? Just because you fall down, you get up, right?
Right.
Nothing, what doesn't kill you would only make you stronger. I've endured some things in my life, and I didn't let it. And no's mean yeses. People tell you no in life, it can only be a yes. So you don't, even though you fall, you get up and you keep continuing this path, because the path to success, the journey in life, never stops.
What
We,
is success though? You know, I mean, what is your, you know, made for success? What,
yeah.
you know, what is success to you? Because it,
Hmm.
like you said, in a different, you know, you basically said it looks different on different people.
Hmm.
So what does it look like for you?
Hmm.
Success, what does that really mean to you in your heart?
Hmm. In my heart, Lisa, is to be happy. Right. I think success is doing something that you're happy about, that you feel good about, that you can tell others about, that you'll be running out with your hair on fire, looking for people who look like you, to sharing your vision with, to get you to the next level. Right. Success doesn't always mean hanging around people that look like you, that serving your same demographic, because you'll never learn, because God wants you to what? Elevate and grow your mind and have a future for yourself, right? So success could be working on your personal plan for
And what are,
yourself.
okay, so what are those steps? You know, can you walk us through some of the steps that you took for you to be successful in your business?
Yeah, what I decided to do was, I decided to change my environment, places that I was going,
That's good.
right? I looked at myself, I said, hey, pow- the power association is a great law of the universe, right? I started hanging around people who I looked as successful from day one. As a youth, I didn't have positive role models. So I looked at different leaders out here who had different traits and attributes of, that that were inside of me. So you have to look from within and find your inner wealth,
Amen.
right? You have to love yourself. Before you go out, I tell people, I suggest to people, you can't tell anyone nothing. I suggest people,
Tell them anything. Don't
spend
tell me.
5
Oh, don't tell me. No,
you know, you got to spend 5 minutes with yourself, to love yourself. In this wave of social media and entertainment and sports, yeah, I've been a victim of it. Young people, middle-aged people, older people, we get so caught up in following someone else's life and loving everything that they love to do, that we don't spend enough time loving ourselves and finding out what we were created on this earth to do in life. And I suggest to people that you find that
so,
today, and you
so your
can
first step would say change your environment.
change your environment, right? Change your mind.
Change your
Change your mind. Change the way you think. Most importantly, a lot of stuff starts in the mind.
Come on.
Okay.
So
You can
the
think.
Bible says, let this mind be in you that was in Christ Jesus. Think it not robbery to even think you're equal to him.
Mhm,
But God is giving us his mindset.
mhm,
You know, and a lot of times what you were saying, change your mind, a lot of times people don't want to embrace that change. Can
mhm.
you how powerful is it for you and for all of us to receive God's mindset?
Right,
It's changed from what we've been doing, right?
right, right.
So okay, I'm
Look,
writing
look,
the steps down.
that's it. That's that. Look, I have look, I'm not some cookie cutter type of guy. I have tattoos, right?
Mhm.
Okay. That remind me of
What?
my daughter. They
Exodus,
kind of,
look, hold on. Exodus said, "Thou shalt not."
I know, but let me go. But their
You
Bible,
know I'm messing with you. Come
I
on.
know, the biblical verses, and I have God's son
Listen.
tattooed on me. So you got to put God always at the head.
Well, I don't know if he meant that, but I don't think people, and that's just me. I don't really think God is going to shame anyone. I mean, obviously, we are his temple, right? So we don't need to do those. I remember my dad, I wanted to get a tattoo. I never got a tattoo, but I wanted to get a tattoo. And I said, Daddy, I want to get a tattoo. And I said, I want to put Daddy's little girl right here. He said, no daughter of mine gets a tattoo, right? He said, but guess what he said? He
What did
said,
he say?
he said, you don't need to put Daddy's little girl right there. You're Daddy's little girl right here.
I hear
in
you.
my heart. So, and that's the same thing. But God honors, he knows your heart.
Yes.
Ty, he knew that that was a symbolic for you to say, God, this is how much I love you. I don't want to even go anywhere without you being on me. Right. Even though we know he's on the inside, but I get it. And listen, we're not, in the encounter room, we're not religious. Right here, we got a relationship with Christ. So
we're gonna take those halos down right now.
Right. Because who can live up to that? Mm-hmm. I mean, look at everything that you've been through. You've been through some painful moments. What have you learned from all of those? Through the steps, you getting, the change of environment, changing your mind. Now with the, because you've been through some painful situations, right? And was it difficult to implement some of those steps?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know what? Look, we have to sometimes be in a realm of self-preservation, right? You got to start loving yourself, okay? And knowing that you got to protect yourself. And sometimes that means going into a new direction. And I've let a lot of people go as far as with dialogue and conversation who can't, help me with my vision, because, we get to a point in life where, I'm 44 years old and, hey, I don't have a lot of time to be wasting. So I don't want to be wasting my time doing meaning, things that are meaningless. Okay. When I know I was created for better things. Right. And when I work with young men, and I used to ask my young football superstars this, who had ambitions. I said, you can't hold on to the ground and reach for the stars at the same time, okay? One thing you have to let go of, right? Or keep searching for.
So sometimes you have to stop things.
You gotta stop. You gotta stop. One of the biggest things that I did to help increase my business's worth was stop leveraging debt.
Okay, so let's throw out some numbers here, because there's somebody's listening and they want to know how good can it be, so real estate is your one, you got your real estate and then you have your investment, right? Mm-hmm. So how good can it get for someone who right now, who's listening, they're in their 20, their 30, their 40, their 50, their 60, and they just want to change their whole life around, and they want to know, hey, how good can it really be on the other side if I really cut back on my expenses? Stop buying them shoes, because let me tell you, since Corona, I ain't bought one pair of shoes. Not one pair. And it feels good to have that extra money in my account.
Right. Are you seeing that account grow?
Yes, right. I have. And it's a beautiful thing. And now, me, I want to start my own business, 2 businesses that, God has given me through all of this. So, I mean, what lifestyle does it allow you when you actually save your money for this type of success?
Mm-hmm. Lisa, that's a good question. I would say for the longest part of my life, I've never got caught up in too much, trends and what's cool. And I've always operated with a minimalist approach. It goes back to those Aunt Ella days dealing with scarcity. And what I'm saying is, what a minimalist approach is, I don't get caught up in spending my money on stuff, right? Just because I desire something or I want something. So you said the pair of shoes. Right. I know that a lot of our young people in our culture are sneakerheads. I have a nephew that's a sneakerhead, okay? and we're spending a lot of money, $200-300 on shoes. Let's say Nike.
I think Yeezys cost about $600-700.
Do they? What?
Yes.
And but look, and I'm not, and I've been a victim of it, right? In a sense, and I'm not saying don't go spend your money on things you love, but I like to evoke conversations with people who are consumers and say, well, if you're going to spend $200 on Nike, won't you buy some Nike stock? Some stock in Nike and become an owner in the company. Since you're spending your money with them anyway, you might as well capitalize on getting some dividend income and investing that money back into yourself for later, for later purposes.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's something to talk about for the younger people. Like you said, let's go back to what you asked. 20, 25, 30 years old. Okay, and one thing, Lisa, I tell my college students, I get upset that this message is not on our billboards in America, right? That are trying to steer our young people to just spend their lives away. This is the greatest shift in wealth ever in mankind, and it will not happen again. Okay, so for our young people, listen up.
Listen up.
Okay. The housing market, you'll see houses, the price of homes start to come down. Okay. The baby boom.
Are you talking like right after this whole thing that we're doing?
Right. Due to COVID-19, Lisa, 2 months ago, let's talk a little real estate here. 2 months ago, the real estate market was a seller's market. Price of homes are going up. People were waiting for springtime to hit, summertime to hit to sell their homes. The market came back, prices came back stronger. Well, now this critical virus came through, wiped out a lot of people's wealth. A lot of businesses will not come back. The baby boomers who were staging and putting off, the baby boomers, the people that are 60, 65, 70, 85 years old who've been waiting to retire and pushing their retirement years back, okay, have now decided that this is the time, okay, because it's been fast forward. So for you young people, the real estate will be a hot item to keep your eyes on. Okay, real estate correlates with small businesses. During these trying times, just like the financial crisis and mortgage crisis that we had about a decade ago, businesses will start to become availably open at a cheaper price, at an inexpensive price for younger people who ever had a business, an idea to start a business, right? You can buy a business, right? Now, us working virtual, it's the perfect time to create an idea. Okay, it's the greatest time to start an e-commerce business. I teach a class on startup and growth at Westchester University. Now's the best time to take a gig job, make it a business, or to sit back and take an idea because, people are going to need to have different types of innovative products due to these market changes and shifts that we're seeing, okay? So it's really a good time for young people to be alive, right? Because in this shift of assets, it's the perfect time. America was built on small businesses.
Right, so let's talk about that, because now these loans are coming out for small businesses. So what would you say? I mean, have you given anyone advice about this? Because, they're flashing across our computers daily about how they're giving away money.
Right. I've been on a couple conference calls with some businesses that are looking for that payment protection program assistance. And unfortunately, as we've been hearing, the larger companies have to return some money that they shouldn't have received in the first place. And a bunch of our U.S. businesses are suffering across America to get capital resources to continue their business. Okay. Now, just think about if you were a food truck owner. It doesn't matter if you have a brick and mortar business, because then you can operate during these difficult times. And because I seen one the other day here in Detroit, there was a food truck. People were 6 feet distancing along a sidewalk, and this company was operating. So you don't have to invest in a brick and mortar building. You don't have to put the carriage before the horse. okay, and have your business collapse because you put too much money out there in your startup phase, things simple. You can operate a business from the comfort of your own computer right now. You're doing it, I'm doing it, the whole world has been forced to doing it, and I'm encouraging young people to start thinking about the next greatest business idea, innovative idea, and here is um, the fantastic news. Their consumers look just like them. If you're 20, 25, 30, 35 years old, you're considered a millennial. You make up between 40% of the US population, right? 50% of the global population. You can sell a business into the global market. I teach at an international business school, Westchester. You can design a business, low cost from the comfort of your own home, whatever their product and service is, and sell it into the world using these distribution channels. And you can go direct, you can be the direct manufacturer of a product, just like people are doing with masks right now, and send them direct to consumer and cut out the middle person.
That's
okay.
good.
If you ever want any questions, feel free to reach out at www. I'm sorry. Let me give you my. It's Ty Grady. I'm sorry. Let me give you my email address. tygrady@comcast.net. It's tygrady@comcast.net. Or you can call me. I'm an open book, people. I'm here. I'm in the giving back mode, right? And I want to give people the truth.
Wow.
Because we're dealing with too much falsehoods out here in this world. You can call me at 305-619-2644. All I ask is you be respectful when you call.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Love Lisa, and it has been a pleasure to have you in the encounter room today with me, Mr. Ty Grady. I know you do seminars, you do consulting, training, coaching, you do power of networking, always embracing change. So I would definitely say for those who have the opportunity to listen, and you tuned in, please reach out to him. How many times do people tell you and give you their telephone number? He's giving you all the information, and he is an open book. We met, oh my God, we got to come back and tell you how we met. But, just so many wonderful things. Yeah. And, but before you leave, I know that you have a heart for the elderly. And now just from hearing you speak about your grandmother, about the things that you've, endured, but the women who've been such power forces in your life, but elderly people, that's why you have a heart for elderly people. Because you and I, we've had conversations, and you've taken some losses. So recently about some loved ones that are elderly because of COVID.
Yes.
So just wanted to let you know we're praying for you.
Thank you. It's been a difficult time. They released an article the other day here in Detroit, and they said a 5-year-old little girl passed away of COVID, and a lady that was 107 years old. And one of my business advisors, that was his grandmother. And no telling how long. I mean, she was 107. She lived a great life, but no telling how long she would have lived, because you saw a picture of her. She looked fantastic.
You look great.
Okay, yeah. And that's unfortunate. And a couple other ladies, who had to get rushed to the hospital. And due to the depleted, I don't know, Lisa, you can't point a finger. It's just a catastrophic situation. Maybe due to the depleted resources and nurses, a lady couldn't get the proper attention. And went and passed on, and I have to actually do a virtual funeral and a drive-by here today from 4 to 9. So that's going to be different. It's just adjusting to these different times.
Yeah.
But we want to tell people, stay strong. We're going to get through this.
Absolutely.
Do these tests, through these times, right? When evil will never win, right? God's going to always prevail in the end. And if you ever want to look me up, you can go to www.tygrady.com. I just wrote a book with the help of my wife, Wealth Principles, 6 Fundamental Strategies to Create Wealth. I'm not trying to sell you a book.
I'm about to order mine.
Yeah, please do. You can get the book at www.freedomfinancialinstitute.com. Okay. And like I said, if I wanted my book to be circulating around the globe, I would have put it on Amazon already, people. I'm starting a movement from the bottom up, right? To kind of be a driver in a movement to help people you know, in the bottom, right, who have been getting robbed by thieves and greed. I just released an article the other day. Ford executives made almost double more, okay, than their workforce, right? I mean, than they did in revenue, right? The top management ran away with, I believe, $70 billion, and they only said they made 40 billion,
Well,
right? So
your
too much
passion.
greed in this world, and I want to spread the message to people to, you know, help get them the solutions to help get by some of this covert activity that's surrounding us, right? And make it the obvious, because there's some things that we can get, that we can work on today to help satisfy some of this income gap, this income disparity,
Well, I thank you.
because
I
we have
thank
to
you.
start doing something for ourselves, right? And be
Absolutely.
self-directed.
Absolutely. Well, I thank you for being my guest. You're my friend.
Yes, ma'am.
You
Thanks for
are.
having me, Lisa. Anytime. You know we can do this anytime.
Anytime, anytime. I'm gonna have you
Anytime.
back. And please, next time, tell your wife she has to join us. I know she's in yoga right now, but
Yeah.
shout out, love to her. God
I
bless
tell
you, my
her.
brother, and thank you again
Take
for coming
care.
and being my guest right here in the
Take
Income
care.
Home. For those
Thank
who are
you.
listening, this is your girl, Love Lisa, and we're out.
We're out.
Blessings. Bye, bro.
All right. Okay. All right, sis. Take care of yourself.
You got it.
Okay.